Hello, hello, and welcome to another um, episode of Real Estate Unfiltered. Mia, I can see you on the screen, but I think that's okay. I just realized that. But you have a beautiful picture and a beautiful face, so we're happy to share you with the world. And if you don't know, Mia is my wonderful assistant who helps me with everything, including staying sane in this crazy market. And thank you for tuning in to my last day of my 40s. So tomorrow will be a new decade, which is really exciting, and everybody in their 50s tell me how great it is. Okay, let's get to the meat of this. So the whole point of us doing this every week is because there's a lot of questions people ask, and there's so many moving pieces in this business. It's a lot. It's a lot, especially in the Western Pennsylvania area. And I wanted to share them things, and I know some people have found it helpful, some common myths, some common questions. So, what we're talking about today is the sewer line. So, when you get a home inspection, which is not mandatory, but I highly, highly recommend it, and you're on the buyer side, I should say, on the buyer side, and they're going to look at the roof, and they're going to look at the electric, and they're going to look at the plumbing. And one thing that honestly, when I started 22 years ago, most people didn't do, but the township started to require it. And because the township required it, people started realizing how important it was, which is a sewer line test. And some home inspectors don't do that. They don't offer it. They're starting to do more. So it's really important. Yes, you're going to spend more and more money on inspections. You're going to get the home inspection. You're going to get there's so many upfront fees, but you are going to save yourself huge headaches in the long run. So I highly recommend to everybody that they get a sewer line inspection. Now, that being said, we have, for the most part in Western Pennsylvania, terracotta pipes. And I always say, and we have a lot of trees, and we love trees. And what do trees love? They love water. So the roots tend to creep in to the sewer line, and that can cause problems. Now, the interesting thing, unfortunately, for a friend of mine that happened that caused her sewer problems was in the city, and people were putting those plastic bags down the drain, or when you walk your dog and they just throw them in the not the drain. What's that called, Mia? The I can't think of it, but you know what I'm talking about. And they just throw it in and it goes into the sewer line and it actually clogged up her whole sewer line. Here's the thing, a few things I want to say. Definitely get it done, but be aware it's probably not going to be in mint condition. Okay, even if it's new. So, for example, O'Hara, the Township of O'Hara, they require a sewer line test be done. And I had someone I helped sell who had just bought 5 years before, and the sewer line was inspected by the township. And they said, nope, the seller who had just bought 5 years before had to fix the sewer line to a tune of $5,000. Why? Because the joint of the sewer line, there was a root coming out. And I thought, well, wouldn't that be a plumber issue? Because why should that happen after only a few years? And they said, well, the earth could have shifted, which means earth can shift anytime. And that was after they have PVC piping. Okay. So there is no guarantee that you're going to have a perfect sewer line. That being said, it's still worth always just to get it checked out. I want to say also, there's a lot of insurances also for sewer lines. So make sure you add that when you talk to your insurance agent. Some insurance agents, like I know Erie, they added a sewer line coverage. But if for some reason your insurance doesn't, the electric company, believe it or not, and maybe the gas company, they'll send you some stuff sometimes saying, do you want the water line insured? Do you want the gas line insured? Personally, I would do it. I mean, there's not a problem until there's a problem, right? And it used to be extremely expensive because they'd have to dig up sewer lines. Now they can put in lines, and it's still expensive, but at one point, because Fox Chapel required sewer lines, and they still do, it was could be 50, $100,000. And you think, wow, these people, these are expensive houses. They have a lot of money, but not necessarily. You don't know what anybody's situation is, and that's still a lot of money. So the plumbing has now gotten better in terms of how they fix stuff and put in the liner. Again, you always want to talk to a trusted advisor, and we don't always have the answers. I'm going to tell you this right now, and we make mistakes, and I apologize ahead of time if I do make a mistake or I don't have the answers. But at the end of the day, I am here to help, and I have 22 years of experience to help you through the best process that I possibly can. And that's really all that matters. So I also want to say I helped a buyer buy her first house just last weekend. And she was in her 50s and she said, "Oh my, I'm sorry, I'm nervous." And I said, "If you weren't a little nervous, I'd be worried." And it is normal to be nervous when you're buying or selling a house. And as agents, we know that. Doesn't make it always easier for us as agents because we want you guys to have a great experience, but we also recognize that progress is better than perfection. So, anyway, any questions, Mia?
Okay, just a quick one. Would you personally pay for a sewer line insurance?
Oh, that's exactly what I was talking about. Yes, I would. I would. So you can talk to Erie. Like, for example, if you have Erie, they usually have it, but I think a lot of the companies now do. Talk to your insurance agent, but also, like I said, the electric company might have it as well as the gas company. So, yes, absolutely. Water line insurance too, gas line, everything from your house to the street is your responsibility. And again, there's not a problem until there's a problem. Usually it's just a couple dollars a month. Anything else?
I think so. A sewer inspection passing today doesn't guarantee future problems won't happen. Is that right?
You got that right. You got that right. There is no guarantee in this world. What do they always say? But death and taxes. So there are no guarantees, and a house and a home, I would say breathe, they're like a living thing. They're going to change, they're going to adjust, they're going to get old, and they're going to break. So nothing's guaranteed, nothing. And you can get an inspection today of the sewer line and tomorrow something breaks, and that's true of a roof, and that's true of anything. So that's why you want to get insurances, but it's also very important still to get the inspection if you are able to. Now, sometimes you might waive an inspection because it's pretty clear what the issues are. Maybe you have a really good, deal, and you feel really good and maybe you bought a contractor through. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule. But overall, I would highly recommend anybody get an inspection. But like I said, there are instances where I've had people waive the inspection for various reasons, and that's okay too. I would just say if you're going to do that, definitely get insurance, no question. Any other questions?
Th- That's it. Thank you,
That's
Juliet.
it. All right. Well, you have a wonderful day, everybody. And if you see me tomorrow, I will be in a new decade. I will be 50. So thank you, everybody who's already wished me a happy birthday. And I look forward to seeing everybody when I'm in my new decade. Have a great day.